Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Shok, and before I get started, I just want to say I know this is probably going to be an extremely long video, like 30 minutes, but I'm going to have to ask you guys to please sit through it all and listen to all of it, because there's going to be some really important things in this video that everybody needs to hear. So I'm going to ask you guys, for those of you who may not watch my long videos like that, please take the time out to let this be the exception, and please listen to it. Now, with that being said, obviously, this video is about the movement that happened yesterday. It was a success, but at the same time, it was a failure. And I'm going to explain why it was both at the same time. The movement was a success. The first phase yesterday, in my eyes, was successful because we made a serious splash. We confirmed with what we did yesterday that we had the power, right? We turned heads. For about an hour, we were even trending on Twitter. That's right, for those of you who may not know, hashtag Nintendo Direct was trending on Twitter. Not for just 2 seconds, it was for a pretty long time, it was trending. So that is definitely a success in my eyes. We made people more aware of it. We're on the board, right? We're out there. But the reason why it was a failure at the same time is because it was not focused at all. You could ask everybody who was in the live stream. I was proud of everybody when I saw that we were trending. But at the same time, I was disappointed because I saw too many people getting off topic, asking for things that were not on the list, asking for things that were actually on the we will not ask for list. You see what I mean? And along with that, we had some people spamming. And I know what you guys are going to say, well, the whole thing was spamming. It was all about hitting up their Twitter and stuff. No, what I mean by spamming is a lot of people were just retweeting the same message over and over and over again. I told you guys, make it one tweet per thing you're requesting. A lot of people, like this one dude on Twitter, he was literally copying, pasting the same post like 15 times in a row. That is not good. That makes us look bad. That encourages the post to be ignored. You can't do that, people. For the most part, though, I can say that mostly people were very respectful. I did see a few kind of, disrespectful or kind of rash, tweets or whatever being made towards Nintendo. I would say that's probably 5% of the tweets that I saw. But for the most part, everybody did good. But yeah, that's why the phase yesterday was both a success and a failure. Because we were trending, we turned heads, people recognized us. But at the same time, it was so sloppy, and people did not follow directions. And people were not on topic at all. You guys gotta understand that when you ask for too many things, if you're imagine being in Nintendo shoes and you see people asking for 15 different games, that person's gonna sit there and be like, well, which one do they want the most? Because we can't do these things at the same time. Which one is the higher priority? This is silly. They want too much. Ignore. That is what they are going to do, guys. I told you guys to keep it Star Fox and F-Zero for the games. They have a virtual console. You were just supposed to keep it the cross-buy and, GameCube for virtual consoles. That was it. But we had people asking, for things like a new Earthbound game, a new Kid Icarus. That is stuff that was never put on the list, folks. People asked for a Metroid. Metroid was actually on the will not ask for list because we know a Metroid will come for sure. So that's why it was a failure. But real quick, I just want to take a moment to explain for those of you who still may not know what the movement is and what the movement is about, because there's still a lot of misconceptions surrounding it when it's been very plain and simple. But I guess yesterday really confused it even more than confused people even more, and they were already confused. But guys, to put it simply, Nintendo Redirect is all about encouraging fans to be more vocal. Firstly. But the main thing about the whole movement, the main focus about it is letting Nintendo know. I should go ahead and make that like the official slogan for the whole campaign. Let Nintendo know. That's all it is about. It's not about F you Nintendo. It's not about Nintendo, you're horrible. It's not doom and gloom. It's not talking down on the system. It's not talking down on Iwata. It's simply letting our wants known. Because Everybody can see this. Everybody can admit it. Even the most hardcore Nintendo defenders knows that Nintendo really isn't that in touch with their own fan base, right? Communication between them and us is very hard to achieve. You see what I mean? Again, it's not like Sony where I could actually tweet Yoshida and he'll actually respond to me, or like Microsoft where I could actually ask Phil Spencer a question and there's an actual chance that he will actually respond to me. You see what I'm saying? We can't do that. The Nintendo fan base does not have that direct contact with Nintendo like the other fan bases do with their companies. So that is the whole point of this movement. It's not about bashing them. It is not about insulting them. It's about just letting them know what we want so they can not only better themselves, but also better their system. And give us things that were in the Wii, and give us things that are currently in, the 3DS. Give us things that are standard in the year 2014. That's what it's all about. It's letting our wants known. Now, going back to how people got off topic and whatever, to the failure side of things, I can't blame you guys fully because me being the leader of the movement, I gotta take some responsibility for that. I thought we would be able to handle it, but apparently not. Obviously, I should have narrowed it down much more narrowly to one or two things. I should have made it just Star Fox and F-Zero, and that's it. Or I should have made it, just Virtual Console, one or the other way. And I saw some people saying, well, what you gotta understand, Shokio, is that a lot of the people tweeting that, haven't watched your videos, they didn't know what the movement was. They just saw people posting about it, and they thought, oh, it was just about asking Nintendo for anything. I understand that, and that was the point. That was the case for a lot of people. But what you guys gotta understand is that if people kept it on topic, if people kept it to the concise points that we said we were going to discuss, people will understand what that whole thing was about. You see what I'm saying? And will understand that it's not about just ask them for whatever. You see what I mean? So people who did watch my videos, who do follow me, they were part of the problem. And I know this, and I'm saying this in a factual standpoint because a lot of these people I know by name, right? They've been sub to me for a long time. I have met on Facebook or whatever. A lot of people I know who watch these videos got off topic, so they misled others to getting off topic. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, part of that is on me. I'm partly to blame because I should have narrowed it down. But that comes down to another thing. This whole movement isn't doom and gloom, folks. Oh, because the first phase was sloppy. That's what you guys gotta understand. A lot of people are like, oh, this failed or whatever. That doesn't mean the movement is over. It's the first step. It was going to be rough. You see what I mean? This was almost pretty much inevitable. But now we could just take what happened with this and learn so we can improve the next phases, right? So we could perfect the method so we could do better. It doesn't mean the phase is over. Oh, it's not going to work. Look at that. That was terrible. It wasn't going to be perfect the first time around, right? Another thing that we're going to focus on, and we're going to change, is make sure that we don't do these on Sundays, because like as people pointed out, Nintendo's not even in the offices on Sundays. Now, a lot of people take that and they say, oh, that whole thing was completely useless and pointless because Nintendo's not even on Twitter on Sundays. That's not the case, people. Because Nintendo may not be in the offices, because they might not be on the Nintendo Twitter, doesn't mean that nobody saw what happened, right? All because these people aren't at work doesn't mean that these people do not have internet access. You see what I mean? These are human beings, people. These are people who have their own Twitters. These are people who are more than likely following, plenty of, gaming-related Twitter accounts, right? So for sure, somebody at Nintendo North America saw the redirect movement, right? But just to make sure that we catch them at a time where they are actually, tweeting and whatnot, we're going to make sure we do these on other days that are not Sundays. So that way it's not like, hey, Bob. Bob is like the guy who, speaking hypothetically here, who manages the Nintendo account. We want Bob to see it. We don't want him to, hear hearsay or, any kind of secondhand thing. Like, oh, yeah, there's a bunch of Nintendo fans crying or whatever. So that way, next time he sees it, he ignores it. You see what I'm saying? We want him to see it so he can see what we're doing for himself. So there's no misconception. But now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I've kind of addressed the people who, were part of the movement, whatever. I want to address the people who you know, kind of weren't part of the movement, and some things that people have said in video responses. Both Tony Rindy and Nintendo did video responses, and I did not take those videos as hate is all, because I know that's not what they were meant to be. Those videos had some legitimate points, some legitimate criticisms. For the most part, you know, like 80% of them, I agree with the videos. You know, legitimate criticism. Guys, constructive criticism is great. If you guys have a constructive criticism, not just this hate BS, you see what I mean? Go for it. Anything, any kind of feedback is great. Legitimate feedback is great. Let us know so we can better ourselves, so we can better this movement, right? But I just want to address some things I've been seeing people saying about the movement, whatever. I want to address the whole, this is a bunch of spoiled Nintendo fans, right? You guys are asking for extra things. No, we are not. And to make another silly but perfect analogy, a lot of you guys are acting like we're asking for cherries on top. We're not asking for the cherries on top. We're asking for the ice cream. Because right now, we have an empty cone. You see what I mean? With the Wii U, we have an empty cone. We don't have the ice cream. So we haven't even gotten to the point where we can get the cherry on top. You see what I mean? None of this stuff is extra or, will be strenuous on Nintendo. And I can't stress that enough. And I know I've said that before, but that false notion has to stop, that we're spoiled and asking for unrealistic things. Again, a lot of these things with the OS and whatnot are things that the Wii had. They're things that the 3DS has. So why can't we get it for the Wii U? When in that case, we're holding Nintendo to their own standards. Not even that of anyone else's. Again, empty cone. We don't even have the ice cream yet. Another thing I want to address is that a lot of people are writing the movement off just because the first phase was rough. Again, it was a failure. Yes, it was rough. It was very sloppy, and I'm very disappointed in people for that, for not following instructions and whatnot. But like I said, at the same time, it was a success because it showed how powerful we were, right? But like I said before, it was the first day. It was going to be sloppy. That's no reason to say, see, this isn't going to work. Doom and gloom. I'm done. We need time to iron things out, guys. We need to do this trial by error. It's part of the process. Now that we've done this, now all the other phases will be 10 times better. Hopefully, just the second time around that we do this, we can have this down perfected, clean, right? Concise, on point, to the T, effective, efficient. That's what this is all about. It wasn't going to be perfect on the first go, guys. So stop with the doom and gloom. The third thing I want to address to the people I've seen, against it or whatever, is people talk. And Nintendo said this is one of the few things I disagree with Nintendo on his video that I'm seeing a lot of people saying. But a lot of these Nintendo guys who aren't for the movement or neutral or whatever are like, well, if you really want to make a statement, vote with your wallet, right? Nintendo said, boycott Mario Kart 8. Now, Nintendo, part of the reason why that a large portion of the Nintendo fan base isn't happy with the Wii U is because of the lack of games, period, and how long they take to come out. So why in the world would people actually boycott Mario Kart 8? Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze came out February. Mario Kart 8 comes out on Mario 30th. May 30th. If you skip Mario Kart 8, you won't even know the next thing you'll be able to play. The Wii U doesn't have that many must-have games. Again, let me clarify, must-have. It has good games for you to buy, but as far as must-have, really, Mario Kart 8 will only be the third, which is kind of slow. For a year and a half. You see what I mean? But the whole boycott logic. Let me tell you guys why that boycott logic is flawed. Because I could get 50,000 people. I could get 50,000 people convinced to not pick up Mario Kart 8, and you know what? Nintendo would not notice that. You see what I mean? Because these Nintendo games sell so much that me not buying their game that's not going to tell them anything. They're not going to notice it. You see what I mean? So it's just silly for you guys to say that, oh, if Mario Kart 8 doesn't have voice chat, don't buy it. Send them a message. Again, like the point I just made, I need a game to play on my Wii U. First off, nobody is going to whether or not Mario Kart 8 is not going to have the online functionality, the online features people want, they are not going to go as so far as to deprive themselves of a gaming experience that they desperately need. First off, you see what I mean? And like I'm saying, secondly, those games sell so much, there is no way you could get enough people together to boycott a game to where it will be of significance, right? Because Nintendo mentioned how, you know, with the Xbox One, the main reason, because some of the outcry was part of it, but yes, I agree, the main reason why Microsoft switched all this stuff was because of the money, was because the pre-orders, right? They showed the pre-orders getting their butts kicked by the PS4 pre-orders, which is why, you know, the main reason why they switched up all the policies and whatnot. You know, that is true. But the thing about that is that that was a significant number of people. You see what I mean? That was hundreds of thousands. We cannot get that many people to convince to not buy Mario Kart 8. So there's no point of even trying. That is a 100% factual no-go. Nintendo will not notice me not buying Mario Kart 8. That's like Nintendo noticing that they lost a penny. You see what I mean? That is a penny to them. They will not notice that. So can you guys please stop saying that? Another thing I want to address that people have been saying is, if you want these features and online and stuff, go to another system, guys. I can't believe I have to explain why this is silly, but I will do it anyways. The whole point of us having a Nintendo system, people, is to buy Nintendo games. We like Nintendo games. The whole point of asking for these features and things is so we can enjoy these things on the Nintendo platform. Not enjoy these games, enjoy these things, period. In general, if you want cross-game chat, get a PS4. That's not the point. The point is we want cross-game chat on the Wii U. So just in case Mario Kart 8 doesn't have voice chat, which it most likely will not, well, hey, we got party chat that we could use. That's the whole point. So stop with this whole get an Xbox One and get a PS4 if you want those things. Because do the Xbox One and the PS4 have Mario Kart? No. Do they have Zelda? Do they have Smash? Do they have Monolith? No, they don't. So stop that. Now, to get off the people who have said things, you know, about the movement, I want to address the people who are for the movement, who are participating in it. This isn't about the fanboys, folks. It's not. And this was a point that I definitely agreed with in Nazendo's video, is that he said when I put We Lover in the beginning of one of my vids, that encouraged people to be more hostile to people who are, you know, pretty much against or, you know, very conservative about this campaign. You see what I mean? Which is true. Now, I don't agree with him when he said that, oh, you shouldn't have put him out there or whatever. I mean, I see what he's saying, you know, wholeheartedly. I completely see it, but my thing is, like I said in that video, notice I wasn't smiling. I wasn't giggling or nothing. I was serious when I was saying that I was trying to make him an example. The reason why I put We Lover out there was to try to convince people to change up their mindset, to change the way they think. I was giving people an example. Hey, this guy said the same thing you guys did, and yet some of you still went out and bought those games, right? A lot of people were against Operation Rainfall, talking about Stop Crying and all this stuff, but yet they ended up buying the games. So I was pretty much saying, hey, look what happened to this guy. If you're against this campaign I'm doing right now, you will be in his same shoes. Again, that was the whole point of that. It wasn't to put the whole focus. And I understand. I agree. Like, again, Nintendo, I'm agreeing with you that this is what happened. This was a side effect. All I'm telling you right now is that this was not my intent. I did not mean to put a focus on Nintendo fanboys or Nintendrones or what have you, or whatever you want to say or whatever you want to call them. So you're right. You know, that did cause that, but I'm just telling you that was not my intention. Again, I wanted to show people, you know, an example that would maybe change their mindset. Maybe get them on board so they don't look like hypocrites later. You see what I mean? I was just trying to get more soldiers for the cause, showing We Love Her like that. It wasn't about Exposed Wii Lover does not make me angry. He does not say anything that makes me angry. Because, no, I'm not even going to go there. Anyways, I'm not going to go there. Another thing I want to tell you guys, not only is it not about the fanboys, but this isn't about me. This isn't about me. And what I mean by this is, I've seen tons and tons of forums all over the internet where people have spread the word, which is great. I appreciate that, guys. But the titles of these threads or wherever they post these things, it's always Shokio's Nintendo movement. Join Shokio's Nintendo movement. And the problem with this, guys, is that you guys gotta understand, I am a very hated individual here on the internet, in the game community. So when you say Shokio's movement, a lot of people who would probably actually be for this thing will automatically be against it just because my name is associated with it. You see what I mean? Yes, it is my movement in the sense that I am leading it and I started it. But it is not my movement in the sense that this is about me. Right? This is not about me. And you guys who have been watching all these videos about the movement knows that 95% of this movement has been pure feedback. Not 95% of my videos have been asking you guys, hey guys, what do you think we should do? What do you think I should do? Because this isn't about me and what I want. Again, like I said in my previous video, there are things in this campaign that I personally don't care about. I could live without. But I'm including anyways because I care about the needs for others. This is about the Nintendo fan base in its entirety. What they want. This is about getting a better Wii U. This is about getting a more understanding Nintendo. You see what I mean? That is what this is about. So don't put so much... I'm not saying you can't mention that I started this. What I'm saying is, don't put so much emphasis on me. You see what I'm saying? Don't put so much focus on me. Because then people, they don't look at the movement as a movement. They look at it as Shokio. You see what I mean? Shokio, that's it. So don't try to put so much emphasis on me. You don't have to slap my name on it all the time. Right? Another thing, going back to a lot of responses I've seen regarding the movement. A lot of people are saying, how do you know Nintendo's not working on these things right now? Y'all need to stop crying because for all we know, they could be working on these things right now. Guys, that goes both ways, right? People make the argument, you don't know if they're working on it right now. Exactly. We don't know. That goes both ways. You see what I'm saying? That means they could be and they could not be. So just in case they could not be, which is actually likely on the feature side, because we know Nintendo is not feature heavy like that. They're not. So I say there's a, like 70-30, chance, not in our chance that they would be including, like a lot of these features. You see what I mean? But it goes both ways. That is part of the reason why this campaign exists. Because you're right. We don't know if it's going on in the background. Just in case it is not, that's why this movement exists. Because using that logic to say they could be working on it in the background, right? That is to say that we should never ask for anything. Because that logic could be used and applied at any given time, right? I can say at any time, you don't know if Nintendo's working on this. You don't know. I can say that to the last day of its life. Sitting there not asking, but then it never comes. So then I look stupid because I could have been speaking up all these years, all these months. I could have actually maybe have gotten those things if I had spoken. You see what I mean? It is for a certain measure. It is just in case. That is the logic behind the just in case logic that I use. Because it's all about avoiding regret. I don't want to regret being silent. I don't want to do it. Oh, you're right. You're right. They could be working on these things. So let's shut up and just sit back and let's wait and see what they do. They'll probably add in cross games chat. They'll probably give us a Star Fox and F-Zero. They'll probably give us on-screen notifications and put a messaging system in the friends list. But then what happens when the Wii U successor gets announced and it gets shown at E3? It's the end of the Wii U's life cycle and those things never came. Do you see what I'm saying? Exactly. You don't want to regret being silent. So the whole you don't know if they're doing it or not, that is not an argument. That is not a legitimate point. And it actually helps our cause more than it does you. It helps our point more than it does you. Because we don't know they're doing these things, and that's why we are requesting these things in the first place. You see what I mean? Another thing I want to address is that I can't speak for everybody because everybody doesn't have a like mind like me, but I'm not personally going to take credit if we get these things unless Nintendo actually says because of fan outcry. Then yeah, I'll be like, yeah, hashtag Nintendo Redirect was part of that. But if Iwata comes out in a direct next month and he says we're adding in cross game chat period, then he ends the direct, I'm not going to take credit for that, because I understand, because if something gets announced, that quickly or something, obviously, that's been in the works for a while now. If a Star Fox and F-Zero gets shown at this year's E3 with some gameplay footage, obviously that wasn't us, because obviously that was in the work way before Nintendo Redirect came around. You see what I mean? So what I'm saying right now is, don't get it twisted, guys. We're not going to, anytime any one of these things happens, we're not going to jump for joy and be like, yeah, we did this. And I want to talk, and to all the people supporting this movement, don't do that. These things happen. You could do that if Nintendo explicitly states that fans were involved with it. Fans were part of the reason why these things came. Then you could say, yeah, we were part of that. We helped bring that. But if they don't say that, guys, don't take the credit, right? Don't take the credit. The Earthbound guys, they could take the credit because Iwata explicitly stated it was because of the outcry on Miiverse that we got Earthbound on the Virtual Console. They could take credit because Iwata said the reason why. You see what I mean? So if Nintendo doesn't say these things, they announce it and they don't say what brought it upon it, you don't really take credit. I mean, that's not to say that it's not possible that we were at least a small factor. But all I'm saying is don't take credit. But to end this video, because I'm nearing 30 minutes, and I'm actually on my last point that I want to talk about. And I guess you could say this is the grand announcement of this video. I will be making a website for this movement, just like Operation Rainfall did. We need to follow Operation Rainfall's lead because it was really precise, it was concise, it was organized. Along with, choosing just one or two things, most likely one things to talk about, so that way people don't get off topic and people don't start asking for just every little thing in the world. Along with that, we're going to be making a website so people don't have to watch these long videos to understand what the movement is. You see what I mean? We're going to have a fact page and all that. We're going to have a Twitter. We're going to have a Facebook. And I'm going to get people to run these social medias, right? But the thing is, you guys know, I'm already paying for Pretend.co. I'm already paying for the domain name for that. I'm paying for the host. And I'm also paying for some premium plugins. So for this Nintendo Redirect site, we're going to have to get a little bit of, crowdfunding for that. Because I can't afford to be paying over $50 a year for, 2 sites. I'm not balling like that. You see what I mean? So we're definitely going to have to, that's definitely going to have to be a crowdfunded thing. But that is something that I definitely want to do and that a lot of people have agreed with. That would be a great move. So that's definitely the direction we want to go in. We're going to make a site. We're going to make a Twitter. We're going to make a Facebook. We're going to get more organized. We're going to be more precise. We're going to improve our methods. We're going to get more creative. And no, that does not mean we're going to buy plane tickets and fly to Redmond and other places where Nintendo is at, like so many people actually recommended. I am not kidding you. A dude actually told me, yo, go up there, go get a plane ticket and go fly if you really want to make a difference. You should not have to go to such extremities to get a company to pay attention to you. That is ridiculous. And nor should we be able to make paper maches and send them to Nintendo. Like I said, Rindy, like a lot of your criticisms were legit, but a lot of your guys' recommendations on what to do are just a little ridiculous, guys. We shouldn't have to go through all of that. That extremity to get their attention. It's mailing them paper maches. But that's for this video, guys. Again, feedback, go, bam, in the comment section. That's for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.